Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Kevin Michel. I am back again with another video. If you're new to my page, my name is Kevin Michel, as I just mentioned. I am a music producer, musician, singer-songwriter. And on my page, you'll find me doing a whole bunch of sync, like tutorials, videos, and kind of just talking about my journey with sync, as well as like my production style and my approach. These approaches have helped me land placements on like Netflix, HBO Max. I think it's Max now, Amazon Prime, Nickelodeon, and like a few others. At this point, I've gotten about like 10, 11 placements. So I like to share my approach, or my style rather, to help you all to get get you set up and get you your placement. So today we're going to talk about creating a sting ending. I've gotten a few questions about this, and what a sting ending is. It's basically when the cue comes to an end, right? It's a big like not a hit, but it's kind of like a stab, or hit and stab, but on the root note. And we'll kind of walk through it. I have this track here where I created this and I forgot to add a sting ending. So this is like perfect because I can create this from scratch. So I'm going to play this last section here so you can see how everything sounds and how it resolves to no sting ending, which kind of feels empty for me at this point, because I'm so used to hearing it at the end and creating it for the end. So I'm gonna play it now so you can hear everything in context. All right. So as you can see, this is like a Latin vibe. I forgot what brief I was making this for, and I ended up not submitting because of something else. But I didn't finish the sting ending again, so we can create that now. But as you can see, this is the A section coming back, and we have to end off right. It sounds kind of empty at the end, so we're going to create something. So again, usually the sting ending, you want to make sure everything just ends like smoothly. One of the tricks that I usually do, I have like transitions leading up to it. So, it's like it's not too abrupt. It's like it just feels natural. So I have this transition here, which is like a drum fill and then a riser going into it. So listen to that. All right, so that'll go right into the root. So when I mean root, if you're not familiar with what that term means, it's basically the home, right? The key of the song. All right, so the key of this cue is F minor. And if you really want to be like super geeky music theory, you can also use the relative major, which is like G sharp. But because this style and the way this, the vibe of this song, I'm going to use F instead of G sharp. Usually when I create a sting ending, I use a synth, a pluck, or something that's really like hard, that has a hard attack, and that'll cut through, the whole cue at the end. So I tend to kind of double up a lot, and I use a kick for the bottom end, so it really cuts through. So I'm going to actually bring out the kick now, so you can just put it right on the one. Right, so let's see how that sounds with just the kick. All right, so we have our kick in there, and I think that sounds clean so far. But we need a melodic instrument and something that's going to cut through the mix, just so it, signifies that, the cue is over, and it's easier for the music editor to, transition to a whole nother cue, or, to transition out. So, the first thing I like to do after the kick is to make sure nothing is bleeding through. So when I do add the sting ending, it's clean and it's cutting through everything. So let's see what, it sounds like some instruments may have an audio tail. So we want to kind of automate that so everything is clean. So I think it's these plucks right here. Yeah, see, so those can be automated so it doesn't bleed through. We want everything to be clean. So I just went ahead and I automated these three synth plucks just so there's like a cleaner sound for the sting. And there's no audio tail within the sting. So let's listen to how that sounds. All right, so it sounds like this one also has an audio tail. So I'm going to actually mute this part or cut this part. So that's a lot cleaner. And that works. And sometimes you have to do that. If it's not working, cut some parts out. Just so it's a cleaner like sting ending. So we're looking for something melodic. I could just double up. Sometimes I do this. I double up on, some of the instruments I already have, and I just hit, the tonic or the root. And then I double it and I layer it with different instruments. So let's see how so we're just going to double up on that F. Let's see how that sounds. Perfect. And so all right, beautiful. All right. So, I layered it with, with a different synth patch, which is fine. We can layer it up with this other synth right here. I'm going to add like this bass because it just has like this clean sound. So I'm going to layer that with everything else. All right. So I use 4 instruments that were already in the queue, and I just created new tracks, and I just have the root on the one with the kick. So let's listen to that. Just going into the whole sting ending. All right. So I think, and it feels a lot better. It definitely feels like there's an ending to the whole cue. Again, automation is going to help out with that. Especially if you have like, some plucks and synths that may have some reverb on there that may have an audio tail. So make sure, you automate that so it's a cleaner sound. Some people like it. Depending on the song, I like to keep everything clean. This one is definitely one of those cues that I definitely want to, have a clean sting ending. You can also do like different things where you build up melodically into the sting ending. So instead of just hitting the F, oh, sorry, wrong instrument. Let's try this one. Perfect. So instead of just hitting the F, you can, do something melodically that'll lead right into the F, like, right? So I'll just do that real quick, just so you can, hear it in context. I'll quantize that, and so I'm just going to actually just play just the sting with the transitions and the kick, so you can hear how it sounds melodically when you have something leading into it. And I think this helps out with just making everything, just gluing everything together. Most of the time, this is how I end my cues, with just having a melodic line, going into the sting. So I'll play that. Hold on, let me mute the bass so we can hear this in context. Oh, is that the kick? Here we go. There we go again. Let's play that one more time. All right. So as you can hear the synths, again, this synth right here is doing melodic, and then everything else is doing the F. So you can kind of be creative with it and see what fits. So, this is my process, and, a creative way to create a sting ending. This is what works for me. There are other ways you could do it. I've seen, other producers do it differently, but this way works for me because, again, I think for me, it just clicks. It just makes sense. So hopefully this helps you out. Again, you can automate different instruments so it's clean. Create a melodic line that goes right into it. And remember, the sting ending is on the tonic or the root. And also choosing the better instruments to create a sting ending has to have something that's like sharp, that cuts through the mix, that just fits perfectly too. You don't want to just put anything. Because I had synth plucks already in the song, it just ended up working out. But usually, I'll find something and then I'll just double it up and kind of, balance, volumes and everything, just so everything makes sense. Hopefully that helps. Everyone's been shooting me emails on, questions. I've had people sign up for the one-on-one cue review. It's been super fun. Again, a lot of this stuff I go through with your personal tracks that you're considering pitching. Again, I want to emphasize that I am not promising that you will land a placement, but I'm helping you to be library ready and also sync ready. Kind of have that mindset of, creating cues, because this is a whole different way of producing. I mentioned this in, some of my other videos that, sync is amazing in a sense where it's a whole different avenue. It's producing, but you also have to be, cautious of how you produce and, making sure it fits, because a lot of this music is underscore music. And so you don't want anything too crazy. And so you just want to make sure everything is good. So, again, I hope this video is helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know what your approach is, if you have a unique way of creating a sting ending. But until next time, be great.